Hello, hello, hello. It's me, Stephen Lee, your humble, gracious guide, with another transmission of the Blackwall Podcast. I want to welcome everyone into the family room where we talk about, share, disseminate financial education and investment strategies for the black and brown investor. This is a place where objective, raw, and real is our premium, and we like to share the chronicles of entrepreneurs and investors that have global experience all the way down to local experience. I want to encourage everyone to check us out on Patreon, where we have all of our seasons, all 4 of them available for the full video and audio. We're on all streaming platforms, as well as our YouTube channel, Blackwall Podcast. Thank you to all of our past guests, all of our future guests, and all of our guests that we have lined up and booked for this season. Welcome. You are now entering, listening, and being part of Season 4, Living Life in Sports Mode. Thank you. All right. Well, now that we got that out the way, I think it's important that we talk about something today that's near and dear to my heart, because I think that we haven't done one of these kind of podcasts in a while. Actually, to give a little funny little story, is I recorded 2 separate podcasts, and maybe they were a little too personal. Maybe they were just a little too personal. As I'm thinking about them, I'm sitting here thinking, I wonder why they didn't save on the SD card. I did 2 of them. They were recorded. I was pressing the record button. I saw it. I was checking it periodically on all the little gadgets and everything. We got a whole new setup, and it's fun. And then when I went to bounce it all down, it wasn't there. Saved to 0 minutes. So I decided I'm not going to try to recreate it. That's not what I'm going to do. Just know that the things I said, I'm glad I got them off my chest. They're about matters of dissolving partnerships, and I'm sure I'll cycle back and we'll do an episode on that another day. But today, what we are going to talk about is we're going to talk about commercial real estate, and we're going to talk about why I'm pivoting, have pivoted, and am continuing to look to pivot into the space of commercial real estate here in the U.S. because of ... This is why you're going to listen to the podcast. Also, I'm going to be discussing the challenges that I've faced in my first commercial real estate deal. I'm also going to be talking about the differences that I've seen and felt in this deal, in the process, and just some things that I think I probably would do better or different the next time around. I'm also going to share with you what I've come in contact with as far as the financing, as far as the facts and the nitty-gritty and the data and the minutia of what I've found out about my first commercial real estate deal and purchase. As you guys may know, don't know, read the bio, don't read the bio, first time listeners or whatever. My name is Stephen Lee, obviously, that part, but I'm a buy and hold investor. So when I invest in real estate or startups, whatever I'm doing, excuse me. Seems like every time I start talking on the mic, my throat gets all weird. But just 2 seconds ago, I could just be laughing and joking. But that's neither here nor there. Stay on topic. The topic is that part of me making this move and this adjustment into being a full-time investor in private equity is that I didn't want to be a one-trick pony. So coming from my background, the 2 options that I had to feed myself throughout my 20s and 30s were both limited. Tell you what I mean. Obviously, my street activities were more limited because there's an additional downside and danger of failure, termination, and imprisonment. The kitchen offers a different set of limitations and boxing you in. Yes, imprisonment is off the table. Death is way less of an option, but you definitely, can get cut and all that stuff. But I think that for me, where I really was from a perspective of what I wanted to do next, I think that a lot of people in my age group are kind of, thinking, okay, well, what's the next stop? What's the next stop? What's the next step? Kids are getting older. If you didn't have any kids, that's a whole nother conversation. Can't really speak for that. But I think we're all looking at what's the next step. For me, when I look at life, I do look at it kind of like a business as much as one can, but there's also the idea and the understanding that there's the personal aspect, but there's also an aspect of time running out and progression, right? If you stay still for a year or just do the same thing for a year, that's a year lost in my world. I don't know how many of those years we have. No one does. And so I try to kick the ball forward, move the ball forward every year that I have. Lofty goal. Everyone probably says the same thing. Do I accomplish it? I'll let you guys be the judge, or really not you, but you know what I'm saying. As far as the whole idea of making this, the first word I really thought about was sacrifice. I don't know why I thought about the word sacrifice when I'm talking about investing in commercial real estate. I think the reason probably why I'm talking about that is because that's the first thing that comes to my mind, is because I felt a lot of it during this deal. It's a 7,000 square foot commercial building. I guess I should just give everyone like the schematic so we can just visualize together as a class. 7,000 square foot building. I'm not comfortable with disclosing the location right now. I am comfortable disclosing this. It's in an area of real estate that I've never had any experience. Right. Okay. So 7,000 square foot commercial building in an area I have zero experience, in a town I've never been to, in an industry I have no expertise in. Just painting the picture. Now, in a real estate perspective, when I line that up, that sounds like a fucking horrible idea. Like when I say it out loud, if we were just going at it like, hey, we're going to go ahead and do a residential deal. We're going to go ahead and buy this 4-unit, 6-unit, fill in the number. But I don't know anything about all the things I just listed. We would say probably no, right? We would say that's probably not the best usage of our capital, or it's not the best hedge to make, because essentially what I'm doing is I'm trying to leverage my existing and previous success to something new, a new level of success. I'm very glad I said it that way. Yo, shout out to all the YouTube viewers, because we're trying to build up our YouTube viewership. So every once in a while, I'm just going to shout the people who've actually gone over there and clicked it. Because today we might be small, but we are the mighty. And that will always be the truth. This is not a popularity contest, but this is a truth-telling exercise. And saying it out loud sometimes can help the right people keep the truth. So when it comes to the idea of I'm willing to leverage my current success for my future success. I think that's a very interesting concept. I think that right there is what sometimes, I don't want to say limits people, but that is, I want to say the breaking point, or the separation point. That's the word I'm looking for. I believe that's the separation point. I believe that when we start talking about matters of, I could just sit here and do residential real estate, call it one flip a year, one hold a year, right? Pretty fucking good pace if you ask me. Keep that pace. Mind my business, stay low, live within my means. To me, that's playing the game not to lose, not playing to win. What got me here was playing to win, right? What got me here was the idea that under any circumstances, I was willing to sacrifice what I perceived as comfort for today to be able to do my best and maximize my potential, right? I know it was a lot of words, but it's how I felt. I feel that in my mind, the most powerful and valiant and like courageous thing I can do, obviously within reason and taking measure to it, but is to continue to push forward and continue to have set my goals higher and higher. Why is that important? It's important because statistically, once again, so I gave you my little personal synopsis of this deal without revealing too much. Why don't I want to reveal too much? I have some pending litigation that I just rather not add public information to, that I get, you know what? That's actually kind of bullshit. Now that I think about it, that's a fucking lie. The reason why I was uncomfortable saying where it's at is because, like many people, my success and my ambition over time has drawn a wedge. It has made reactions. It has made people say things that hurt my feelings. It has made people be very callous. It's made people be very closed-minded. And so here I start this podcast, and I have, this audience or this voice or however you want to look at it. And I'm sitting here speaking, and I'm thinking about all the different people who want to throw arrows at me. I'm thinking about all the different people who want to fucking use my goodwill and good intentions of teaching and sharing my experiences and trying to better the culture and move the culture forward in the financial space, using these things against me, right? That's a shitty truth, right? So because of that, I've been beaten over time, and I'm sure many of you have too, if you have any level of success. I was weary about saying all these things. But you know what? Fuck these people. At the end of the day, I got to keep it solid for me, right? I don't like making decisions out of fear. I don't like living like I'm scared of people or things. It doesn't make me sleep good at night. So back to the story, a little more detail. 7,000 square foot. It's a medical office building, clinic, Shreveport, Louisiana. I don't have a medical license. All the things I said I didn't have before are very true. So the perspective I'm coming to it from is, yes, when I started investing in real estate, commercial real estate was like the top. This is where you're trying to get to, right? You start with me. I started at the bottom with bandos or vacant properties in the ghettos. For all you people, all you slowpoke square butts that needed a translation here. And then I moved my way up. And I got to the point now where was doing, I guess my last flip that I'm involved in now, whole drama, whatever. But as most real estate deals can be, drama sometime, you just fucking weather through it and make the money at the end and live your life. But we've now gone into a higher end residential. the next jump to me would have been a building. When I mean a building, something with, over 6 units, somewhere between 6 and 10 was what I was looking for. And I felt like that was my next move, to try to jump back on that horse, because I did a partnership with a 16 unit in Cincinnati a few years ago that failed miserably. Failed fucking miserably. You hear me? The price building was an absolute nightmare. And I have actually done an episode about it, but I'm going to do another one because that's a long time ago. And I think I probably have a different perspective now about it. And there's some different learning lessons about it, because there's some things that I've done different now in this deal than I did in the previous deal, which is all good. So when it comes to breaking that wall, I hope you guys appreciated it, because it mattered to me in the moment. Just, man, fuck these people. We're not gonna let these haters. We're not gonna let these vultures, these whatever wolves, whoever people. If you're true to the game and you're living the right way in the financial world, right? Because hey, you'll find plenty of people say I'm a scumbag in my personal life. I don't fucking care. Okay. But business and ethics and money making and the game, right? Let's talk about it. All you hustlers out there, all you entrepreneurs out there, all you people that pretty much only eat what you kill in the financial aspect in the world. You understand what I'm talking about, the game, right? That moment where you understand that you have the confidence and you have the ability to go out into the world, not under a corporate umbrella, not part of a team, not part of a union, but by yourself, with your ideas, with your work, take it out into the world, the marketplace, sell it, make a profit, and be able to feed your family, rinse and repeat. There's a different level of confidence that comes with that. I know it. You know how I know it? Because I get the backlash, and I get the angry looks and the jealousy and the resentment is the word I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for. I get the resentment of people who are not happy with their life decisions and the choices that they've made. It's written all over their face. And they're upset about the fact that I have developed this almost arrogance at times. Fuck it, I'll say it. Where it's like, I don't need that. What are you talking about? These are things I don't need. These are things you guys need. Right? I guess it's how people look at it that know how to hunt and live out in the woods. They look at city people, like, you guys are domesticated. Does that make sense? I feel that way from a financial aspect. I do. I don't know. I'm trying to get better at it, because I think it limits me from being able to absorb ideas and share ideas with people. So I'm working on it. But it's my initial reaction. Just being honest. Move right along. So this clinic, it's coming because, or it came because, I should say, the doctor's an old gentleman in his 80s. Shout out Dr. Russo. And he's retired. And for whatever reason, I know the reason. The reason, let's draw it out. Fuck it, this is a podcast. That's why you're here for it. In the medical industry, pharma specifically, if you've noticed, they're going to the model of like CVS's, Walmart's, Dwayne Reed's, if you're in that area, even the Targets, the grocery stores, the Kroger's, the Albertsons, they're all going to their own pharmacy model, right? So you'll be able to go to the pharmacy, get your flu shot, get your basics done, get your prescriptions. They're kind of going to that, right? They're obviously able to do better and larger scale business with the pharmaceutical and drug companies. So you pretty much are going to get the best price there. So it's taken away the need for a lot of the mom and pops across the country, right? So if you got a Walmart with pharmacy, if you got these things, it's, obviously absorb the need across middle America and the country. So a lot of these doctors and clinics and pharmacies, they were bought long when the guy's been running it for 40 years. He's retired. No one wants to step in there because the new pharmacists and the new doctors are the cost of going and get that medical degree is now 1,000 times what it used to be. So they can't afford to go and open up their little mom and pop clinic and play the long game. They got to make money right now. So they go work for big pharma, or they go work as the pharmacist in a bigger corporation. That's how this works now. I saw an opportunity. What I saw was the opportunity to step in and I don't even want to say revolutionize, but attempt to modernize and create a system for my own company that would step in, purchase local independent clinics, medical centers, dialysis centers, whatever in that little nook, if you will, of medical treatment, and retrofit them, update them with technology, and make them adaptable and receptive to the new world that they're in. Because these communities that they're in don't have new problems. Does that make sense? They don't have new infrastructure. These are in underserved communities. So their clinics being shut down are not being replaced right away. Does that make sense? Right? They're not, the city isn't rushing to throw in the general hospital and make sure they have first tier technology and medical services. That's not what happens. This clinic closes, these people now have to go further away to get medical treatment. The need is still there, is my point. That's what I saw. I saw a place where CVS or Walmart didn't come in and shut down the local business. The local business shut down and the need is still there. Now, limitation. What is the limitation and why doesn't everybody just jump into commercial real estate? Shit, it sounds so great. One, price point. Commercial real estate is more expensive. It just is. Even with the prices being down 50, 40%, 30% nationwide for commercial office space, malls are essentially worthless, especially if it's not a top tier mall, right? Top tier malls, Lenox Mall, Beverly Center, all these places, Westwood, Phipps, top tier. They of course they're valuable, right? Glendale, they're valuable. But the local mall that the kids used to go to and go to the movie theater on the weekend and just walk around in your local town, it's a ghost town. The value has to be created by someone's new vision, right? A lot of these things are being retrofitted. Same thing with office spaces. In New York City, they're trying to figure out a way, okay, let's take all these vacant office spaces and make them apartments, residential. Once again, great opportunities, great money, but there is a shakeup in that market. Most people, right, and I mean this, most people's conventional wisdom is, well, if there's a drop in the market, you don't know where the floor is of this drop. We don't know. We don't know how bad it's going to get. You have no experience in this arena of office space, especially medical office space. You don't live anywhere near where the property is, Shreveport, Louisiana. And you don't have the ability to just snatch it up and run it yourself one day, right? If everything goes wrong, you just go ahead and run it. Fuck it, right? That's not an option. Why would you do it? Why would you do it? I think that's a lot of people's initial thought. It could outwardly be perceived as greed or never having enough or not being satisfied. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you a little insight, right? And slow this thing completely down. The reason why, for me, it was such an attractive opportunity, right? Let's roll it back. Let's roll it 100% back here. I wasn't even the first investor that was called. So that lets you know how. See, now either I'm a genius or I'm fucking stupid. It's one of the two. And we're going to find out in about 3 years which one it is. But I want to say I was the third investor called, right? Truth be told. I jumped at it so quickly that they thought I didn't understand the deal. Right? This is why I love you guys. This is why I love you guys. We're able to have this real conversation. Because I don't have a medical degree and I'm not a doctor, and because I'm not backed by some fancy fucking firm, the people didn't think I understood. So they wanted me to like keep reviewing the numbers, keep reviewing the value, keep redoing the listen. I'm no fucking slowpoke. I'm not stupid either. What I know is in America, you cannot go broke selling drugs. And we're talking legal. If you own a pharmacy, you're selling drugs. Just everybody get over it. I know that's not what we want to say. I know it's not, doesn't sound good. Great. But let's just objective, raw, and real it here. Okay? Objective, raw, and real in it is sometime you have to just take out your fear plug and take out your doubt plug and just listen to the raw opportunity. There's an opportunity for my family to be involved in a template for a business model, right? That could generate more money than a 10-unit building. Just leave it there. That's all you need to know. There's an opportunity there. That opportunity I see because I'm realizing that the people that go to medical school, the people that go to pharmacy school, they're going there to do that. That's their passion. That's their goals. It doesn't necessarily coincide with owning the real estate, right? Especially now, it's not that simple. Owning real estate, it's like a specific job, right? Being an investor and owning the real estate is a thing. That is like that's what I do. They check people. They write prescriptions. I own real estate. There's a natural marriage in my mind. That's how I saw it. I saw it as like, you guys are trying to figure out the real estate part, and you're going to these people who say that they're into real estate, which in our community, which I'm finding out, means that they own a house or two. That's not their primary residence. Then once then they that's it. They know it all. I'm going to tell you something. I was that guy. Surely was. Arrogant as all hell, mean as a rattlesnake, and thought I owned half of the state of Georgia when I owned 5 bandos. Hey, what you want me to you want me to lie to you about it? You want me to pretend like, oh no, I never. Oh. I would never. That's a lie. I did. So I know it's real. Now the part of it that's the part of it that I think is interesting is that the amount of patience and time and failures and looking and getting no's and doors closed in my face and getting fake yeses in this deal has been enormous. Because of course, buying from an elderly person, there's some challenges there. Dr. Russo had slipped and fell in the shower in the middle of this whole negotiation. Thank God he's okay. But that right there was like, my initial reaction was, of course. That's the first thing I said. Of course he fell. Why would it not? Right? Because I'm calling around. I think I might have called 20 different private lenders, because no conventional lender would touch this building for multiple reasons. Then private lenders won't touch it. Oh, we won't lend Louisiana. Oh, Shreveport. Oh, the area of Shreveport. Da, 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 da. I mean, I heard it all. I heard every no. And as black and brown people, the more no's we hear from the outside, the less we want to go ask our inner circle. I said it. I said that shit. The more yeses we hear on the outside, the more comfortable we are sharing the vision and sharing the sharing the whole thing with others. I think that's extremely interesting. The people that are closest to us, we should feel the most comfortable when the world isn't giving us that love. But it's not like that. And I'm just speaking from what I know and what I feel from most of my experience with us. Even what's really going on with me and my family. I'm not just talking about it like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about it in a real way. So what I want to touch about or touch base on, I don't know, I just said touch about, that was a little weird. But what I want to touch base on is the matter of that desire to stay dangerous. When I say stay dangerous, right, when I close out, everyone's like, oh, what's that about? That's like my new thing. I've been saying stay dangerous for a while. I think it's important to stay dangerous because being complacent can make you soft. I think being soft is a habit. I think staying a hardened human and staying in the position of readiness in matters of finances, business, dreaming, planning, entrepreneurship, I think that's a necessity. I think that's something that we don't put enough value on. I think people have these long spurts of complacency and then look up and wonder why nothing got done. I think that nothing got done because of your complacency. It's pretty simple. You put together 2 out of 5 years of complacency. What did you expect to get done in that chunk of time? Then how many 5-year blocks do you think you have in life to fuck off? Well, you got your whole 20s, most of your 30s. After that, what do you think? What do you think this is? Free time forever? You think you're just going to be able to work like a dog till you're 70 years old and get the same productivity? Absolutely not. Life does not work that way. So, with that being said, I realize that my kids are going to grow. I realize I'm going to grow. I realize life is going to grow. And I didn't just want to be renovating and flipping and fixing and renting houses my whole life. That's not why I retired. That's not why I got into this. I got into this because I wanted this to be a new career. New career means you learn a skill, you learn a thing, and you move forward and you keep gaining, you keep gaining, you keep gaining. That's what I understood a skill to mean. When I got into being the kitchen, I got good at one thing. I didn't be that forever. I put that in my toolbox, so to speak, and move on. And I kind of want to experience the same thing in investing. That's why I've branched out into startups. Hey, man, not an easy world. I'll tell you right now, very difficult to invest in startups. Staying calm while shelling out money and not having a guarantee it's coming back is very difficult. It's extremely difficult. Do you hear me? It's so difficult because the people that you're funding are already high strung because it's their idea and they're finally having the confidence to take it out into the world. Right? So think about that. I was telling you guys about the process of commerce and, eating what you kill and the confidence that it brings. Imagine funding somebody else's process of gaining that confidence. Seriously. And as you're funding it, right? You're funding their process. You're literally funding their process of getting the confidence to bring their idea to market. And you need them to have this confidence because this confidence is what's going to allow them to bring you back a profit. What a better way to give you some yogi, Buddha, holy Jesus correction and challenge. Because the more you press this person for a return, the more nervous they're going to be and more likely they are to fail. Which means that your investment will then fail. That's how this goes. So when you're investing in startups, it's very different than investing in commercial real estate, which is then very different than investing in residential real estate. Doing all these things together then becomes a fund, private equity. Now you guys see where I got to where the fuck I'm at. Having commercial real estate holdings, having residential real estate holdings, and then having investments in startups, those things right there are the things that will allow you to flourish and create your vision moving forward in this type of space. That's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm doing. It's all my first. So I'm experiencing my first commercial real estate purchase on my own, right? The last one I did was with a partner, 16 units in Cincinnati. Once again, failed miserably. This I'm doing by myself, but I'm doing it with the understanding and the conjunction of an existing medical company, right? So essentially they have the master lease. The beauty of this situation is that I'm stepping in because they had a need. Excuse me. What was their need? Their need was they have zero real estate experience. They don't know anything about the real estate. Don't know anything about it. And they don't have the infrastructure or the budget to hire a property manager or acquisition team and all this stuff. They just don't have it. They had approached two other investors who, in my opinion, got scared. That's all I got out of it. They sent me over their financials, sent me over their projections, sent me over their team's credentials. It all fucking checks out. Okay? I'm a bloodhound about this type shit. To make it even more secure and attractive is the fact that they have no desire to own the building. So their company goes belly up, their facility or their infrastructure, whatever is going on with them, fails. Yes, pain in the ass. Yes, stressful. But I still have the opportunity to, once again, either retrofit the building into something different or partner up with a different medical service provider and a team, right? That's how this works. The building does come with a pre-existing staff manager, the office manager. So that's a plus. That's totally I think an intricate part of the deal because it's someone on the ground that they understand that the reason why they're keeping their job is because the new owners want to keep them. I think that, especially if you're not on the ground, if you could find an employee that's going to come with the business or come with the building, a maintenance person or whatever you got going in this new purchase. I'm not saying hand them the keys because you obviously want to learn everything that they're doing and you want to check over them, you want to manage them, but don't just throw the baby out with the bathwater just because they're there when you purchased it. Does that make sense? That's not That's not a good business strategy. That's not something that I'd recommend. It's just, oh yeah, well, they came with it. They came with the building. They gotta go. You never know. Assess everything case by case. Limitations. What is limiting this about this? One, the commercial real estate market that we talked about is just topsy-turvy. Evaluations are everywhere. Lenders are scared. The turnover's a lot. We're just in a really shaky period. There's a lot of buildings that right now are their notes are being called. You know, commercial real estate isn't like your home. It's not like your residential home. It's not 30 years fixed. A lot of these things are 5 years, 7 years, maybe 10 years, amortized in their interest. You know, amortized over 30 years, you pay 10 years, and then it balloons. And the expectation was in these types of situations, because it's been like this for decades, is that you own an office building or you own a large complex or building, as long as you have tenants, the refinance will be no problem, because what bank won't lend you on that asset, right? They're lending on a commercial asset. It's based upon what the asset can produce. The problem now becomes, what's the problem, Blackwall? The problem is that if you now get 20, 30, 40, even 50% vacancies on the property, you're going to have mirroring devaluations. So, round numbers, I bought a building for $100,000. Obviously, great deal, snatch it up right now. But you bought it for $100,000 just so we can have round numbers. 5 years ago, this is now year 6. You're at 50% vacancies since COVID. Fuck it. Call it 30% vacancies since COVID. And you're doing good. You're running 70% occupancy since COVID on your office building. When you go to refinance, they're only going to want to loan you on the value of $70,000 because that's now what your building's worth. You've taken in 30% less in revenue, in rent roll. If it's 40% less, there you go, right? So now either you're going to have to pony up the difference, you're going to have to cash this loan out, or you and your lender are going to have a real talk, or you're going to be handing some keys back. That's how this is going to work. Now, there are going to be people like me who are going to see opportunity. And we're going to come in and we're going to negotiate down and we're going to pay that discounted price. And we're going to put in the money, the equity, the sweat, the blood, the tears, the everything, the time, the patience. And we're going to weather out this storm. And we're going to reposition these assets in a way that they're viable, profitable, and they fit today's world, right? And the herd of people who do that are going to make a boatload of fucking money. Tell you that right now. Going to make a boatload of money. And if you're not on that boat, it's not that big of a deal. There's going to be plenty of money made otherwise too. This specifically, the people who are going to be able to capitalize and weather the storm and tame the fucking beast that's coming of commercial real estate reevaluations in this country over the next 5 years. I think that these people are going to be poised to be in a good spot. I think ownership of these things will be important in the next decade. Now, they got to take their hits, man. Because anytime you hear any type of market, oh, this is flawless, this industry never goes down. See, that's where commercial real estate had gotten, especially office buildings in major cities, San Francisco's, New York's, Chicago's, these type of places. Oh, people always got to go to work. These buildings are worth, their values are always going to go up. They call them A-class properties. Do you hear me? A-class properties. A-class. Now they're 40% off. So how A-class are there? But meanwhile, residential housing rents are going up, up, up every city. Every city. So once again, why would I'm neck deep in residential real estate in one of the hottest markets in the country, Atlanta. I keep going. I built relationship with lenders. I know the agents. I can make my way. Why would I stop doing that and pivot into an industry or an area in my industry that is seeing price devaluations, lack of occupancy, and higher costs? Because that's what I'm doing, right? You have to be willing to sell your lunch to buy your dinner if you're moving forward. If you're, and I shouldn't say moving forward because everybody's moving forward if you live another day. If you're jumping up weight classes, because that's what I'm doing. I'm financially jumping up weight classes. I'm changing my money weight class. I think it has to happen because let's really think about it. Why do we retire, change careers, change lives, invest, or whatever? I think we're doing it because we want to try our best. And I think that part of trying our best is challenge. Part of challenge is failure. So just because I fucked up that 16 unit doesn't mean I'm forever scared. It just means I'm more cautious. It means I took my time. I measured out my mistakes. Now we go back at it. I'm not getting a 16 unit. I'm buying a commercial building. And I'm looking to have one company be my tenant. I'm looking for that company to be successful. Really successful. Why? They could pay their rent that way. If they're successful, they can pay their rent. Simple. If I provide a great building, if I provide a maintenance crew that keeps the place clean, if I provide a maintenance crew that addresses any issues that may come and arise with maintenance of the property, painting lines in the parking lot, the company's more likely to stay. If they stay longer, they pay rent longer, have a more profitable asset. In a perfect world, this would be so great that they say, hey, do you have any more sites? Now we're talking business, boys and girls. Now we're talking business. But I have to first nail this one. Now, some people, this might not be that big of a deal. Oh, who cares? Why the fuck are you telling me, right? What I'm telling you is that what opportunities do you have in your life, in your business, in your entrepreneurship mission to, I don't want to say take it there, but change your weight class, change your money weight class, man. You know, or you could just sit, hey, that's your business. You say where you are, but if you're doing that, you should have been turned this fucking podcast off. Because this ain't that. This ain't the hold'em. Hey, let's be safe. You don't want to lose this. I already told you that's not how I play the game. I play the game to win. If you're playing the game to win like me, what's your opportunity? I just told you mine. I laid mine out. Mine sounded crazy. Yours, is yours going to sound crazier than that? I said, I don't live in the state. I don't have any experience. I don't this. I don't that. I don't this. I don't have this. I didn't know that. Hey. Oh, and did I mention it took 3 months to get now? I think we're at month 4 to get this shit done. It took a third of a year to get this done also on top of it. Stress, headaches, all types of shit. Right? But once again, if you're objectively looking at this and you're saying to yourself, hey man, what are my options? What are my options here? I'm not saying this is a hamster wheel. I'm not saying I was bad at it. I'm not saying it even was it wasn't profitable. But at points it did start feeling like bagging up pennies. 50,000 here, 100,000 here, 20,000 here, 30,000 here. But then you owe somebody 30,000 here. Then this bill is 15,000, and then you see what I'm saying? Like that became it started to feel like I made myself a job and I wasn't building a company. The real estate, it started feeling like my job, not a company. And I was trying to build a team and an infrastructure and a whole ecosystem around this job to make it a company. It's not everybody else's fucking vision, bro. It's not everybody else's vision is to build this thing where they don't have to have their job and they can do the company. Even if they say it is, that's not their vision, bro. If it was their vision, you would have met them. They would have been doing it already. And that is what it is. Now, where's the rubber meet the road with something like that? The rubber meets the road with that is that now I'm intentionally picking people for their skill set. What does that mean? Hey, instead of going out and fucking around and talking and all this other bullshit, I'm sitting here on LinkedIn and I'm trying to figure out who's in charge of such and such to get my product where I need to get it. Not so I can meet and flirt with you. Maybe so I can have an interview with you. Maybe so I can have a chat with you. So I can ask you a couple questions. I'm putting more of a premium in those things, man. I really am. Because I need to build a team. That's like so important. I'm sitting here talking to these founders about their startups. And I see their nervousness. I hear it in their voice. I see their eyes. It's all this, that, and the third. And I'm trying not to talk to them in a manner that's making them nervous, but I do have to let them know, like, hey, listen, you've reached the point now where you do need to land a contract because there is no more money to burn, right? And you're telling them this, and they already have a contract in hand, but you're just letting them know, like, hey, whatever you need to do to make sure this really goes through and succeeds, and whatever cleaning up you need to do to make sure that it fully goes through, do it. They get so nervous. Oh, you can feel it. They start reviewing everything and hey, listen, I'm just telling you, this is part of the business, right? This is part of the business. That right there, the process of investing in these startups can very easily be confused on, well, why am I not using that to do my stuff with my company? I could invest in my own business. First answer. Once again, counterintuitive. Why would you invest in somebody else's startup when you have a business that can always take investment? Everyone's business could always take investment, right? Why? Because sometime it's not the time to inject capital into my business. That might not make the fucking problems any better. It might actually make them a little bit worse because I start moving faster. Maybe the slowing down is revealing certain things along the path that we need to see, right, in building our company. Maybe the slowing down is showing you that person that's really not there for the long haul. It's not really a good partner, employee, consultant. They're not for you. Because people stay around when there's a lot of motion. There's a lot of movement because there's a lot of loose parts. There's a lot of things that people can grab and sneak and this and that, right? Everybody can kind of get lost in it. And if it's successful, the pieces that got lost are less noticed. The details and the things that didn't feel good or weren't perfect or didn't go seamless were less noticed because there's a win at the end. Slow down the game. Have no games. Take a couple losses. Let me see how everybody acts. So I say that to say, obviously, you guys have been listening and you binge listened since you found out about the podcast. You've heard every episode and you know everything I'm talking about. And so it all makes sense. But if not, and you need to catch up, you can on all streaming platforms. Patreon, YouTube. We got everything going. Great guests, great conversations. But the main thing is that I want everyone to walk away from these podcasts and just thinking and challenging yourself and being honest with yourself and being objective with yourself. In what areas can you grow and get better and put more time into and sharpen? I don't know. Just a question. Stay dangerous.